Regina and Daniela and Drew. Hi. So you guys, I'm going to start off, Regina and Daniela. You guys work together. You're not individual creators. You are a duo. I guess it's good calling you a duo. Is that good?
We a duo.
All right. Talk about what you do.
Yeah.
It should be. It was on before. Let's see.
Oh, cool. Okay. Sorry.
I was like, did Matt try and punk you in some way by turning your mic off?
Yeah.
Matt, really? No, he didn't. You're good.
Well, yeah, we're basically just video creators. We make long form videos on YouTube. I'd say our demographic is family friendly. So ages between 6 to 16. Sometimes we have some older teens there. Sometimes.
Yeah. And we both came from a previous YouTube channel. It was called the Spy Ninjas, and it was a very successful, it was like one of the most watched series on YouTube. So we helped create, and we starred in that series as well.
So you were a big part of the Spy Ninjas for a while, but in the end, it was like, yeah, it's time to do something different. And how did you think about going from, it was a very scripted thing, right? And you guys are much more yourselves now, right?
Yes and no. The videos were always improv, but we had to play characters.
Right.
The characters were a mix of the Power Rangers and Scooby-Doo, and so it was very, like, fantasy. It was a kid show, okay?
Were you Thelma? No.
No, but she was basically like Velma and I was Daphne. Almost.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I would say they were like heightened versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
But now that we have our own thing, we can share more of our like real lives with our audience.
Be who we are. Like,
Yeah.
we can use our real names and they see us as more us.
You weren't using your real name before, huh?
Well, I wasn't, she was, but
Okay.
I had a character name, but now I go by Daniela.
Okay, so you can be Daniela.
Mm-hmm.
So Drew, talk a little bit about you. You saw early success with a channel that still is going gangbusters. Talk about what you're doing.
Yeah, so my name is Drew, and I have a YouTube channel called Cobra Kai Kid, and it revolves all around the Cobra Kai series on Netflix and the Karate Kid universe. I started this channel 5 years ago, just as someone who wanted to talk about the show, and it's grown in ways that I couldn't even imagine when I first started it. I'm still doing it and I'm loving it, and yeah, I'm excited to talk about it here. So
now you're thinking, I've been doing this for a long time. You're starting to ponder starting new channels as well, right? Is that your final answer?
Yeah. Oh wait. Hello. Testing. Thanks. I'll say no. There. Oh. Hello. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So, I have been doing it for 5 years, and, I've learned a lot, in those.
Your mic up closer to your mouth.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've learned a lot in those 5 years. I've done interviews on the channel. I'm studying filmmaking in school, so I have a passion for that, and, just creating. It's taught me a lot. So definitely I'm looking to evolve, past Cobra Kai. I have interest in movies, writing, telling stories, but the Cobra Kai, the channel has definitely helped with that. So, I'm excited, and being at events like these, it's very eye-opening, and, I'm excited for what's to come, but yeah.
Yeah. So starting to think about what's next in your journey on YouTube, or other network or other platforms, it turns out. So Regina and Daniela, when you guys decided to do something new, decided to go out there, you were starting from zero, right? You had a channel with no fans, no followers, no friends. How did you approach that? Was it scary?
Oh, yes. It was very scary.
Up to your mouth.
Yes, it was very scary, especially coming from a background where we were getting millions of views. Like, our old channels were just getting millions and millions of views. And then on top of that, we took a 4-month break. So we were like, are people going to forget who we are? But we uploaded our first video 4 months after we stopped with the old job. And luckily for us, the audience didn't forget who we were. They pretty much were still interested in who we are as creators. And for us, we were able to show them a side of ourselves that we've never got to show them before with our old channel. So I think that is the value, the new thing that we brought to our existing audience.
How did you figure out what that format was and what it was going to be?
Through lots of experimenting. I would say when there is no right or wrong answer when it comes to YouTube, especially when you're building a new demographic or a new audience, you don't know exactly what they will or won't like. So you have to be able to put anything and everything out there and kind of see what works for you, what works for the audience most of all, and just kind of go from there. So we kind of developed a hybrid of content that both appeals to our old audience that knew us for those mystery adventure videos, and also some content that appeals to new audiences, which is a little more evergreen, applies to like anyone can enjoy those videos.
Yep. And you started about a year ago, right?
Yes.
Posted your first video about a year ago. And where are you now? You're like 500,000? Somewhere around there?
Almost there. We're really
you're like, I saw you like 30,000 away or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Building a channel. Nobody knew it. Nobody knew it. What was it? You're at 500,000 right now. How'd you get your old fans to find out where you were? I mean, you put out a banner on YouTube being like, remember us? Here we are.
Honestly, kinda. We didn't do much promotion for it other than like our Instagrams, which we didn't have much followers on Instagram at the time. So we really relied on like the SEO of YouTube to get the audience that we used to have and just push it out to all of them. And that's what it happened. And I think we also had a very clicky thumbnail and title. So as I said, we were gone for 4 months. And so the title was like, why we left YouTube. And I think there was a lot of curiosity there.
I would add on to say that it is important to go and look at all the platforms that are available so you can make, an overall brand for yourself. So, cause I did notice like through our Instagram, our TikTok, and some other platforms that we would get comments like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you guys existed. Or, wow, isn't that Regina and Daniela? So I noticed across all these other platforms, they were finding us from all these other places. So that's a good way to put yourself out there, I think.
So you have the luxury of having been part of building something really big and then starting over. Were there things that you looked at and said, we don't want to do that this time around? These are things we don't want to do. Like what did you learn that maybe you could share with the audience, but also what were those hard learnings for you guys? You're like, not doing that again.
Yeah. So there's kind of this mentality, ingrained in me that you kind of have to keep going and going and going and going. If you're on YouTube, like you can't take any breaks. And that's what I did. And I think in return, mentally I was exhausted, physically I was exhausted, and the quality of content just like went downhill. And so when I gave myself time to breathe, take a break, and invest in my body and in my mind, I found the passion again to like create videos that I like and that I'm passionate about. And it really, I think the audience could actually really tell that like, oh, she loves what she's doing. She's making good videos. Are
you weaving a healthier production cycle in now? Or are you like back on the roller coaster again?
It's hard.
I definitely think from trial and error from our previous experience, we've been able to make a production that works for us so that we can balance real lives and have lives and relationships and activities and all those things, but also have a job that we're really like invested into. So
yeah,
I say give yourself the opportunity to find a way to create balance for yourself. And that's one of the lucky things about this job is you are able to do that.
What were some of the things that you said, we're going to do this time that maybe you didn't do there, maybe didn't have the control over others? Like, we've learned, we're smarter, we're absolutely going to make this happen.
Yeah, I would say, just grinding for our previous job for the past 4 or 5 years. We were writing, editing, starring in all these videos. So we had making the thumbnails, like everything, SEO. So we knew we had the ability to make a YouTube video, to make a YouTube channel. So we just thought the natural next step is like, let's just do it for ourselves, see what happens, because we could do it.
Yeah.
So we
nice, because you had that sense of like, we've done it, we can do it. We're not just putting ourselves out there for the first time.
Right.
And it's like, we got this, right? I'm sure there were a lot of nights where it's like, do we really have this?
No.
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the important thing, I know this is cliche, but it really is just to have fun with it. Because when you're actually doing something that you're passionate about, that you're genuinely having fun with, the audience will be able to tell when they're watching your content. They'll be able to feel it. And so I think that's one of the main important things that I really want to carry into this next chapter.
Well, and Drew, on your side, Cobra Kai Kids, big, huge, keep doing it. But as you start thinking like, wow, maybe I want to start another channel in a different area that I'm passionate about and build up that family of channels, are there things as you think about doing that you're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, and I did that last time?
I think every time, like you guys were talking about, it's all about like experimenting and finding out what works for you and what's working for the audience. Like there's a balance for that. So I think, everything you do is like a learning process. So like, making Cobra Kai Kid, I've had the channel for 5 years and, there's a lot of learning curves to it. And I think with any new channel that you start, you're still going to get that. Even if you think, I want to do this and I want to do that, you might have like certain obstacles that come out. It's like, oh wait, I have to change it up. But yeah, for me, it's also like doing what I'm passionate about and then, connecting that with others. Because if I love what I do and, I always like try and say like, I want to make content that if I wasn't making it, I would want to watch it. And like, I know when I watch people that like, create and make really good stuff, it inspires me. And that's kind of what I try to do. So yeah, that would be like what I would try to do, like going forward.
Try to do it. And what would you not do? What are some of those things like, yeah, don't do that again?
Not do. I'm not sure. Hey, everything I've done has been like a learning experience. So like, there's been times where I made videos that I've been happy about. I'm like, oh, I think this will do well. And then it hasn't done well. So it's like, you don't really know until you do it. And then you kind of just figure it out over time. But yeah, then I made plenty of videos where I'm really passionate about it. And then, people like pick up off of that passion. And then it just makes me want to like keep going from that.
Doing it. Keep doing more. How many people out here are thinking of starting a channel or have a new channel or wondering, can I really build it today? Yeah, a couple people, a lot of people. You got any good tips for them? Like, what do you say to somebody who comes up to you and says, I want to start a YouTube channel, or I want to start TikTok, Instagram. What do I do?
Honestly, I'd say one of the main factors that I found is to be consistent. I think a lot of us maybe have heard at some point that you need to be making a video each and every single day and be posting like so many pieces of content. But in reality, I found that it's just the consistency that's more important. So we, for example, only post on Saturdays. That way we have the whole week to work on our video, but we just know that by posting consistently, it builds that trust with your fans and your community so that they know, oh, every Saturday I'll click into their video. That's the main thing.
Go ahead.
I would say keep creating content because you never know what's going to stick. I know your first video that you'll ever make, it's probably not going to be great. I'm sorry. But if you keep making content over and over again, you will eventually find your voice, and that voice is what's going to make you stick out. So just keep creating.
What about you, Drew? What's a tip for people who want to just get started?
Yeah, I would say for me, like, when you have a YouTube channel, even though it's not like a 9-to-5 job, like there's not like certain times, I feel like it's important to kind of put yourself on a schedule and make that schedule for yourself. So that way you are being consistent and, you keep on going, because it's easy to like, overwork yourself or maybe not do enough. So like just, be like kind of putting yourself on your own schedule, working hard, and quality is definitely very important. You do want to be consistent. But I've spent months making like one video and not knowing like how it's going to do. And I'm pouring like my heart out. And then like when it like gets like 1 million views, I'm like, oh my God, this is like so rewarding. And it just makes you really rethink just rushing out content and trying to get it out every day or whatever, because it's like, that's not what it's about. And people want to see like good quality videos.
Drew, I want to start with you, but I want to talk about platforms and thinking about starting on platforms. I know you guys, we talked a lot about YouTube, a little bit Instagram. How do you think, Drew, about different platforms out there, whether it's Instagram or Twitch or TikTok, Shorts, YouTube, maybe something else?
So personally, I've been on YouTube since like 8 years old. I've been making like Lego animations, comedy skits with my friends. So like it was always a thing. And I always like wanted to do YouTube. And then, it wasn't until I was 16 years old, still a kid, where I started Cobra Kai. And what I love about YouTube is like you can make videos however short you want, however long you want, and you can just be creative. You can tell any story. And as someone who likes to do filmmaking, I'm studying that in school. YouTube for me, like, you know, Instagram and TikTok are more like short form content, but I guess I'm more of a fan of like long form, like making movies and telling longer stories. But definitely Instagram, TikTok, X, like I've gotten those platforms. They keep me up to date with what's going on.
You don't post on them.
I promote like my content. That's not my primary source. But they're very useful. Like you know, my Cobra Kai channel right now is at 230,000 followers, and on Instagram I have 60,000 followers, and I literally just say, hey, just go check out the video, or I'll post like random stuff here and there, but that's not my focus. But it's good to have, because you can have people find you on Instagram and then it goes there. So that would be another tip I would give, is like just to make like all those accounts, even if, and just cross promote everything, because the algorithm just works where you could just like find like someone on Instagram and then see a link to YouTube and vice versa.
Still, if you were going to get a tattoo of a brand of one of the platforms, you'd be YouTube.
It'd be YouTube. Tattoo would be YouTube if I had to. Yeah.
Bleed red. How about you guys? What do you guys think about platforms, and what did you think about, like, maybe we just want to be TikTokers instead?
Yeah. I have. Cause long form is just our thing, like done YouTube for years and years and years, and TikTok sounds a lot easier. So I have thought about it. But it's actually not easy. And it's important to go through, like, as you said, cross promote on all platforms. We're mainly YouTubers, but when we post TikToks or Instagram, that's where we can garner new audiences and push them to go to our YouTube channel. So.
Yeah. And I'd say if you're interested in pursuing just like, for example, long form, but you still want to look at the other platforms on the side, I would maybe advise, for example, you can streamline your video. So you take your long form and then you can break it down into smaller pieces of content for these platforms. So you can basically get more out of the content you're creating, so that it's a good way just to, as time efficient as you possibly can. But these are still worth looking into.
Check out Opa's clip over there, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
They'll let you put it in there for AI and pull it out. It's really, really very cool. So it's been a year for you guys. Any surprises over the year? It's like, wow, how did that happen? What's going on here? Where is this going?
I honestly, the biggest surprise for me was how fast our channel grew. It almost grew to the point that we couldn't keep up. Like, we were editing and doing everything, writing, acting, and directing and everything for ourselves. So luckily we've gotten to the point that we can slowly build our little team. But honestly, that's the biggest thing that happened to us this year.
I agree.
How are you guys making money? How do you think about the monetization side of it? I'm not sure if in your past efforts you were really that focused on it. Maybe you were, but now it's like, this is your business. You guys are CEOs. What are you doing?
Yeah. We're primarily getting our money from AdSense. So from the ads on our YouTube videos. Other than that, we have a manager that helps us get brand deals. Yeah. And in the future, we'd like to figure out ways where we can like sell merch and get other sources of revenue into our.
Yeah. When are we launching your own brand? We were talking earlier about things like tip jars and brands and different ways for creators to make money. Are you thinking about those things? Or is that on the plan, but not till next year, the year after, or the year after?
I'd say this year we're definitely looking into finding different streams of revenue. There's a lot of ways to get passive revenue. For example, we're looking into Superbam and Epidemic, and that's just them looking into the music or copyright and stuff like that. So our manager definitely helped us figure that out. But there's so many ways, like more than you would even think. It's not just the YouTube.
Drew, how are you making money?
Also through AdSense. And I have my own merch, CK Kid, which, cause Cobra Kai copyrighted.
CK Kid.
Yeah, so CK Kid merch. And yeah, I think like the biggest thing, like, and I'm sure you guys know, like when you first get monetized, like when you hit that 1,000 subscriber threshold and the 4,000 watch hours, that's like the first like big major accomplishment. Like what's so nice about YouTube is like there's all these just like steps. There's 100 subscribers and 1,000, and like each one, you know, it's like important to celebrate all those. Everyone goes at it like a different stage. Everyone goes through different steps. So, yeah, that's definitely like a great milestone to celebrate.
And how are you thinking about activating and working with your community, Drew?
I absolutely love my community. You know, I always try and keep it interactive. Once again, you know, I have people that I look up to, and when they are interactive with me, it makes me feel good. And it's like, I try to give that to others. So I do live streams a lot. I have a weekly live show, which creates that audience. They keep coming back. I answer questions from the chat. Sometimes I'll even like bring people onto the stream, talk face to face. And I've like met so many nice people who like started watching my videos, and now it's like, these are great people that I consider friends. And, I've been to certain events where I've done meetups, and I would definitely say meeting like people in person like that is like the most like surreal. And it's like, wow, like this is really special. So community is a very big thing for me. And I also, do like contests sometimes. So I like host like different contests, like create a video and the winner gets this or whatever. It just gets everyone interacting and like, able to express their passions. And I'm always like encouraging people to start a YouTube channel, whatever they want to do.
Regina and Daniela, how do you activate your community? How do you work with them, grow them, treat them to special things? Like, what do you guys do?
I say we try to find new ways to engage with them, whether that's just talking to them through the videos, talking to them through the community chat on YouTube. You can also engage with them in fun ways, like we do polls or Q&As after the video. We'll be like, hey, at the end of the video, A, B, or C, and they'll have answers. Sometimes we've been gone as far to ask them, like, hey, what kind of video do you guys want to see this week? And they all comment, and it's just really fun, and we're slowly starting to lean into streaming.
Yes, and we would love to do like fan meetups. Those are very fun.
All right, we got any fans here for these guys? Thank you very much, Regina, Daniela, Drew. Great to get the insight of how you guys are building. Round of applause. I think they're going to be hanging around a little bit. I don't know, but I love it. And we're going to take a quick break. We're back in about, I think, 15 minutes with more content.